Hi ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to thank you all for joining me today, and today we're going to be continuing with the Fun Fresh Grannies series because I know you guys have liked that so much. And I just want to say that if you're a granny, I'm already going to congratulate you because you're winning. You're on YouTube about learning and about gaining new ideas about technology and new words. Okay, great. So we're going to get started. Last week we learned how to view a post on Instagram and how to like posts on Instagram so that you can see your kids posting and you can see, more importantly, your grandkids posting pictures. And there's a word that you already know. It's tea. And what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word tea? Maybe iced tea? But we are talking about a different kind of tea today. So that's what this video is about. After this video, I hope that you know how to use this new redefined term of tea. And if you threw this into a conversation with your grandkids, they would be so impressed with you and just, I can't even imagine the look on their faces when you say the word tea in conversation with them. So I hope you learn at the end of this video what it's about. The original meaning for tea, which is probably the one that you're familiar with, first gained popularity around 1600 in Paris and then around 1650 in England, defined as usually the dried or prepared leaves from a tea plant used to make a drink. So this is the definition that you're probably the most familiar with. One of the ways is to go out to tea with your friends. One of the ways to drink tea and enjoy tea. It's very common to go out with your friends and get a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And what do you do when you're drinking tea with your friends and you're hanging out? You're talking, right? So when you're talking with your friends, what are you talking about? You know, your kids, your grandkids, all the cool and awesome things they've been doing lately. It has to relate to what this new term of tea means today. Fast forward to 2019, I'm walking around a college campus, and my friend comes up to me and says, "So, Sky, what's the tea?" And I already know the tone of voice she's talking about. I already know what she's talking about. But what do you think she's talking about when she says, "Oh, what's the tea?" Okay, well, even if you didn't know, she's asking me, what's the gossip? What's the hot news? What stories do I have to tell her? Very similar to how you would talk with your friends about gossip or hot news or drama. When you're drinking tea with them, it's the same thing. Asking that, they're asking me about the drama or what's going on in my life. So what's the tea? So as it's defined by Urban Dictionary, which Urban Dictionary, that could be a whole nother video in and of itself. But this definition on Urban Dictionary is defined as gossip or the most important kind of gossip. In preparation for this video, I took a survey of a bunch of different age groups. I tried to get someone from about every generation, starting at a 13-year-old going all the way to an 80-year-old. And I wanted to know what they thought the word tea meant in today's culture. And it wasn't very surprising to me, but maybe it'll be surprising to you, that the only people who said gossip or drama or hot news were the people who had an involvement with teenagers or were teenagers. So I even asked two 13-year-old boys, and the first thing they thought of was drama or gossip. So that was cool. And every 19-year-old and 20-year-old and 18-year-old that I asked, they said the exact same thing. That was the first thing that came to their mind. Yet, as I moved even to a 25-year-old, a 31-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, all of them automatically went to the drink of tea, of hot tea or cold tea or iced tea. So I thought that was very interesting. But there was a person in their 30s and two people in their 40s who work with teenagers. So they both said, if a teenager came up to me and asked me, what's the tea? Then they would know that they were talking about gossip or drama. But if an adult came up to them and asked them for tea or about the tea, they would definitely be talking about iced tea or hot tea. So it's interesting to see that they do know some about this word because of their interaction with teenagers, but they wouldn't know about this word if it wasn't for their interaction with teenagers. A comparable word to tea is not really gossip. I mean, that's what it can be defined as, but I feel like gossip has a negative connotation or can feel bad or wrong, which in some senses it definitely is. But I feel that a more comparable word, is chisme, which chisme is Spanish, but it's directly translated to English as gossip. It's used in Spanish soap operas called telenovelas, and in a bunch of other Hispanic culture. And so the word chisme does not have the same negative connotation or the same negative feelings attached to it as gossip does in English. So I thought that was really interesting because when someone asks me, what's the tea, or about the tea, I don't see it as negatively as if someone were to ask me, oh, what's the gossip? Or do you want to gossip about someone? So I feel that that's very similar to chisme. So I hope that makes it a little bit more relatable if you do know what chisme means in Spanish, or you do watch telenovelas. So thank you for joining me today. I'm so glad that all of the fun fresh grannies could join me this evening about learning new technology and about learning new words. I know that when you ask your grandkids, what's the tea, they're gonna completely freak out. And I'm so excited for that to happen. Please comment down below and let me know about how those conversations go, because I feel like they might be surprising and fun. But yeah, so I'm Skylar Pulver. Please join me next week for another episode of Fun Fresh Grannies. Bye!